Over the past couple of months, I've been running a profitable digital product shop on Etsy, selling websites and Canva templates for photographers and life coaches. This video is dedicated to the research phase of starting your own Etsy shop, more specifically how to find products that sell by using completely free methods and also optional paid tools to validate your findings. The methods I'm going to talk about are applicable to any type of Etsy shop, whether you're doing print-on-demand t-shirts or mugs, all the way to digital templates like planners or invitations. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in my experience, the process of choosing a niche should be loosely based on the following. Find one or multiple types of products you want to sell and divide that into subtypes. So for example, if you want to sell printed t-shirts, those can be divided into multiple subtypes such as printed t-shirts with text or with graphics, or with both text and graphics. And these subtypes can then each be divided into interest groups. Like printed t-shirts with text can have text for different professions like musicians or bakers or dentists. The same concept can be applied to digital templates such as a pricing guide. Your main product is the guide itself, and you can divide that into interest groups like guides for wedding photographers or for life coaches or for hairdressers. Hopefully you see where I'm going with this, because most of the time when people are thinking about starting an Etsy shop, they get lost in the complexity of what niche to pick, but the answer is actually simple. Your niche should be the product type, because you can create variations of that product to fit multiple interest groups. Okay, but what product should you pick? Look, there is no magic website or source that tells you how much supply and demand there is for a certain product, so you can precisely calculate and find the perfect product to sell. Just to put things into perspective, the t-shirt industry is a multi-billion-dollar business that is growing by more than 3% annually. But if you go on Etsy and just type in t-shirt, you will see over 5 million listings, which can discourage you from getting started because you think it's oversaturated. However, there are shops that started as recently as 2022 and made thousands of sales successfully despite the oversaturation. So in my opinion, you shouldn't base your choice on just the fact that an industry in general has a lot of competition. Because while yes, the general t-shirt business is oversaturated, some of the interest groups for that product might not be. For example, if we expand the general t-shirt search into t-shirt for gardeners, you will see that the number of results we get has significantly decreased, yet we still have star sellers competing within this interest group. Let's do another example. If we just search for digital planner, you will again see a big number of listings, hence you might get the impression that it's an oversaturated market. But if we add the word for at the end, you will see a bunch of options. And if we pick ADHD, for example, you'll have a lot less results and even see a few bestsellers within this interest group. Okay, but I still haven't answered the question. What product should you sell? Numbers and statistics aside, that choice should entirely depend on two things. Do you want to sell a physical or a digital product? Physical products are challenging because you have to take more costs into consideration, such as manufacturing and shipping, and you run risks of having to refund customers should something negative happen down the line. The upside is that there is a lot more demand for physical products in general, because tangible items that are shipped and ready to be used will always be more convenient to the general buyer. Digital products, on the other hand, are easier to make. They have a no refund policy, but the majority of customers would rather choose a printed wall art, for example, that is shipped directly to their home and ready to be hung on a wall, rather than the digital version of that they buy and need to take to a printing service, put it in the canvas themselves. Generally, there is a lot more hassle involved. Now, I know I'm generalizing here, but that's basically the gist of it. So the best way to get started is to commit to either a physical or a digital type of product and just choose the actual product itself. And this is where the brainstorming session would start, because you will need to write down a list of potential products you would want to sell, narrow that down to one. If you don't have any product ideas, you can use ChatGPT as an initial brainstorming assistant to give you a list. So let's say you want to do print on demand. You can ask for a list of 10 print on demand ideas. And for the sake of argument, let's say you narrow this list down to stickers because you found that they're easy to make with an AI tool like Midjourney, for example. Now, how do you check if stickers are worth selling? Well, this might seem too simple, but we're actually gonna go on Etsy and do the research manually by observing a few important things I'm gonna go over. So let's just go to Etsy and write stickers. stickers. Now, the very first thing you notice is that competition is very high. But again, we don't just want to sell stickers in general, we want to sell them to multiple interest groups. So this is where a bit of creativity comes in, because you have to think of what kind of stickers you could sell off the top of your head. Well, let's see, there's animal stickers, retro stickers, food stickers, quote stickers. Writing down a list of these sticker types is a good starting point, because now we can check what's the competition like for each of these, are there any bestsellers, and can we make the designs. Based on all of these, we're gonna narrow the list down to about 5 sticker types for now. So let's just go with animal stickers. I'm gonna type animal stickers on Etsy, and right away we narrowed the competition from like over 2 million to couple 100,000. Now all you're doing is just going through the listings page by page and making educated observations. Ignore the ads and just focus on everything else. So right away, you'll see we already have quite a few bestsellers and items with the popular now tag. So that's already encouraging, but what else can we see from this? Well, most of the bestseller items are actually bundles of 50, 100, 200 stickers of different animals, which means customers prefer to actually buy these in bulk. Now, if we go into one of these bestsellers, it becomes apparent that this is a print-on-demand product, meaning that the actual physical stickers are being sent to the buyer. Okay, so if I want to sell this product, I will need to rely on a print-on-demand service like Printify, or potentially buy a printer if I want to handle the printing myself. You can also see that they offer different variations like an A, B, or C variation. This is all helpful information which you should be making notes of to make your research more complete. Now, a very overlooked part of research is actually checking whether this item is still relevant. Maybe it was a bestseller years ago, which will do us no good if it's not selling right now. So the best way to do that is by checking the most recent reviews to see if there have been any recent purchases. Now I can see right here that there are a few reviews in March and February, so that actually tells me that this product is still selling. So I hope I'm driving the point across with this, that making actual detailed educated observations of the listings is beneficial, rather than just, this shop is a star seller and they have thousands of sales, so every product is doing well. And the good thing is that you can make these observations for any type of product, not just stickers. Now the other and probably the most important factor to take into consideration is whether you can make products of similar quality. And I talked about an AI tool called Midjourney and how to use that in a bunch of my videos, and it's generally a good starting point if you want to do this type of business. Now once you narrow down a couple of types of one product you want to sell, you're ready to start. And look, I know many people say that print-on-demand and digital products are just a numbers game. Just list and upload as much as you can and your shop will eventually gain traction. But you have to consider that Etsy charges a $0.2 listing fee for each listing, and if you just jump in with hundreds of products right away, you could end up burning a lot of money before you eventually start making a profit. So my advice is to start with a small number, let's say 50 listings, and see what works, try and replicate what does, and eliminate what doesn't. Now, I personally like to research products using this method, because spending on tools is just another investment, and in my opinion, you don't get that much value for your money. But if you're more of an analytical person and like to see concrete numbers, you could go with Allura or Everbee. Both are great tools which give you data like sales per listing and tags associated to those listings, what kind of revenue shops brought in over the last month, what was the shop's best selling item, and so on. In my opinion, Everbee is the more stable solution. I found Allura's Chrome extension to be highly unstable and just a mess in general, although their shop analyzer is definitely good when checking total revenue per shop, but it's not very good for much else. Alright, so that's been it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments section. Otherwise, I hope you found this video useful. I'll be making more Etsy related tutorials like how to upload digital products in full, so please leave a like and subscribe, would really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.